Hi Anti-Society, welcome back to the Anti-Social Planet, and today we are watching episode 342 of Bleach. So thank you to all the people who put comments reminding me that I needed to watch this episode because it's technically part of the filler arc, but it's like the last episode, and you guys have told me that it is a more, like it's a ending to the Arrancar arc, where it's like an ending to kind of the previous part of the story leading in to this final arc, which is crazy for me to say that we're in a final arc of Bleach, obviously until like the new stuff comes out. But it's been such a long journey, so to get to this point is just really exciting and a little bit heartbreaking. I'm a little bit unsure what to do with my time. Once I get past the main story of Bleach, obviously with lots of filler stuff, but still, it's gonna be odd. So I talked about a little bit in the last video that I really wanted there to be like ongoing consequences to all of the stuff that went on during the Arrancar arc, both like injuries and trauma and just people going through emotional stress from everything that happened and losing people and people they care about getting hurt and stuff like that, and Ichigo losing his spiritual pressure at some point in the future that we don't really know how much time that is, so he's gonna have to deal with that. And you guys have told me in the comments that this arc actually digs into that a little bit more, that there's some more character-driven stories. It's not necessarily as action-based as some of the previous stuff, which I'm totally okay with. As someone who loves character-driven stories and honestly just like slice of life stories, if anybody has like a really good like cozy slice of life show, send it my way because I'm always down for just a cozy anime show to watch, honestly. So I think that I will enjoy this arc maybe a little bit more than some shonen fans will, because it just kind of fits into stuff that I care a little bit more about. I mean, fights are cool, don't get me wrong, but the characters tell the story for me, and having spent all of this time with these characters and getting to know them and loving them and wanting to see them succeed and all of that, I'm really looking forward to seeing some stories that might be a little bit more character driven as opposed to having fights back to back, which is what we did a lot of in the end of the Arrancar arc, which was a little bit exhausting sometimes. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a quieter, more introspective arc. I don't know how much of that will come out. Again, I don't really know what I'm getting into, but first we have to finish this little one episode, so only one episode for this video because it's technically part of the arc before the last arc, so I'm putting it there, but I will be coming out with more episodes soon, back to 2 episodes per video in no time, but let's just get into episode 342. In 3, 2, 1, go. New opener? I'm assuming this is like for this arc though, so I won't see it for very long. I might get to see some of the stuff that went on during this arc. I love the different like stylized ways that they do the openers. Like I know that Kubo's like really big into like aesthetics and stuff like that, so I like that it kind of fits with the style of the openers and the show and stuff, that it gets some of that kind of like, I don't know, almost like graffiti style, pop art style to it. I'm assuming some of these characters I won't know until I go back and watch the filler arc. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why we're all fighting each other. Aren't we friends? Well, relatively speaking. Don't we put up with each other? At the very least. Hollow. Classic. It's so weird to see his Shikai because I'm so used to Zangetsu being in Bankai form. Oh, I like to see them working together again. We rarely get to see Ichigo and Rukia like actually like together fighting hollows anymore. You look a little tired though. Not the same as it used to be with the whole spiritual pressure going away thing. Mm-hmm. I think it's just like never get his name right, like consistently. He probably will. I'm just saying. Ichigo's a little bit reckless. This is a skating rink. Aww. I used to be really good at skating, but not so much anymore. It's been a while. I guess all of his friends know that he's like a Soul Reaper now because they saw him and Urahara didn't erase anyone's memories. Is Rukia still pretending to go to school? I'm assuming she isn't because she's not like trying to pass as a human. Yeah, have we had that discussion yet about how Ishin is like probably a captain? I'm just saying. Aw, I like seeing Ichigo getting to be just like a big brother instead of like, you know, saving an entire town of people, you know? I'm kind of worried about him though. Like, I feel like for a while there, I was like, nah, you know, hollows, average hollows, not a big deal. But now that he's like losing some of his ability, I'm more worried about him than I used to be. It's cool, he's got backup. And Ishida. You're not gonna help the little kid pass on? See, that's what I was saying. But I feel like it also might have been an excuse. Yeah, like they wanted to keep him out of the fight as much as possible. So they used a bonsol of some kind to like give him more time. See, that's like what I was saying. I'm like, I feel like he doesn't know how to go back because he's been doing this for so long that it's just become part of who he is. So how does he like stop being a soul reaper? Oh, that's a fun transition. Makes me think of light braids. They're gonna have to communicate with each other. It's the best way to work through a problem. And they've always been really good about like reading each other too, like their body language. I feel like there's like slightly more detail in the designs of the characters, which makes them seem like slightly older, which I think is fitting after everything that happened. Oh, I love that they're going ice skating. This is like fitting for me too because it's like winter where I am, so like ice skating is just like something that I used to do all the time. Makes me nostalgic. I mean, they're not technically cherry blossoms, so so now it's just like struggling. I feel like that would be me trying to ice skate now. Aw, look at my sweet boy helping out. Oh, oh, this just makes me want to go ice skating. I don't even know if I own skates anymore. I probably own a pair, but like, do they fit? Oh, Con, it's been so long. We've seen you in the little end screens, but not in the real story. Fireworks? I love fireworks too. This is like oddly heartwarming, and I love it. Aw, I like that said though just as friends. They go to like amusement parks and stuff. So that's an ominous thing to look forward to, I guess. See, that's the thing is I'm like, I feel like since Ichigo knows that hollows exist and that there's danger and stuff, his instinct is to help people. That I'm like, I don't know if like he knows how to not try and protect people. Like even before becoming a Soul Reaper, he was like, I'm gonna fight this hollow with my bare hands. So I don't know how he moves on from being a Soul Reaper if he has to. It's kind of interesting that it's like a reversal of roles because at the beginning, uh, Rukia was losing her spiritual pressure and her abilities, and Ichigo had to look out for her, and it's the opposite now. It's just a nice, like, full circle moment for their friendship that they've always just kind of like looked out for each other, balanced each other out. We got a plan, Ichigo. I mean, he did say he could guess what you were thinking just by looking at you. This is the second time he's gonna pass out and say goodbye to the powers. Because he did, he says like the end and he was saying like, this is my last time. Feels like he knows that his spiritual pressure is pretty much gone. Was it supposed to be like really painful though? When he finally lost his spiritual pressure? This is a lot like when they were in Soul Society. Which just makes me think that this is like the end, right? Yeah. The parallel between the first time and this time. This is oddly bittersweet. Like, it's like sweet in that like the episode is like heartwarming and you can see all this like support in just like his normal life. But like sad because it's such a huge part of who he is. I guess he's gonna have to say goodbye to a bunch of his Soul Reaper friends too, right? If he can't sense spiritual pressure. Okay, now I'm gonna cry. Y'all told me I was gonna cry. Now I'm just sad. Hang on. Because they're so sweet together. Uh, oh no, are we doing flashback to all of the stuff where they spent time together? I'm fine. It's totally fine. Not brokenhearted at all. I feel like I intentionally didn't think about the other ramifications of like the people that he would be able to see anymore now that his spiritual pressure is gone. But I feel like Ichigo's still gonna know everything that happened, so like I feel like him trying to move on with his life is gonna be really hard for him. I mean, I like the positive attitude. He's already at the end of the high school career. So we took a little break because I needed to get rid of my feelings for a little bit so we could actually talk about what went into that episode. And I agree that it does function as a really good bridge between the stuff that we ended off with in the Arrancar arc, and I'm assuming the journey that is going to happen in this next arc with Ichigo like adjusting to being a normal human again and like going through the last year of high school, which is like a journey in and of itself. And I really like that it was this nostalgic and kind of dreamy way of saying goodbye to some of the people in his life, specifically Rukia, which I am just heartbroken about. I'm going to be honest. Like, I feel like there was a part of my brain that knew that one of the consequences of him losing his spiritual pressure was going to be that he couldn't see Rukia anymore. And I just like blocked it out because I was like in denial about that being something that would happen. And here we are. So it was just nice to see them doing some normal things like going skating and even just like normal hollow patrol kind of stuff that they used to do that was really nostalgic of like what the first few episodes were like. And like I said, seeing them switching roles of, originally Rukia was losing her abilities and Ichigo was kind of helping her through that, and then now Ichigo losing his abilities and Rukia being an assistant to that as well. So I like that it's kind of a full circle, even though it's sad to me. I just like I don't want to see them separated in any way, but like at the same time, that's just how it's gonna be, I guess. Honestly, I don't want to think about it. But getting to see a lot of the characters like just in school, just like being normal students, just like going about their normal lives and seeing Ichigo sort of adjusting to that. We got to see a lot of the Soul Reaper side of him, but like him kind of adjusting to like normal Soul Reaper stuff because he hasn't done that in a really long time, like the first arc, because Soul Society arc and everything after that was just chaos because Aizen. Getting to see him finishing off that part of his life in a very like normal and like honestly low stakes environment. Like he wasn't going up against anything in particular that was like super super dangerous. Like obviously it was a big hollow that he was going up against at the end, but it wasn't anything like mega. It wasn't like a menace. Like it wasn't like some big tough adversary. It was just like him doing his normal thing, going up against normal hollows that Soul Reapers encounter all the time, and that was just like the end of it. That was just the send-off of him being a Soul Reaper. So, like I said, some bittersweet feelings to that episode, but I'm very excited to get into this last arc and seeing what he does now, like how he's able to move on. Like his instinct is so much to protect people and to like run to protect them. We saw that even in like the first episode when he was protecting his family. So I don't know how Ichigo is going to adjust. Like, I mean, he used to get in fights for people like knocking over memoriams. So I'm assuming he's still gonna get into fights and still have that protective instinct. He's just gonna have all this knowledge of what he used to have the potential to do and that he just doesn't anymore. I feel like he might feel like helpless for a little while and have to figure out a way to move on from like what he used to be to who he is now. But I don't know how graceful that transition will be. So we'll have to see how that works out, and I will probably cry again because he will remember that Rukia is around and he just can't see her, and it'll break my heart all over again, but here we are. You can click this playlist to go and see my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so you don't miss the next time I post a Bleach video, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!